in-depth newspaper analysis show where we get very, very quality and intellectual analysts to join us here in the studio to give us in-depth look at today's stories and headline stories as well. Joining me live in the studio today is Wade.
Good morning, Judith.
Good
Good
morning.
morning, Lagos. Great
Good
to be
morning.
in the studio.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us. And of course, we have Justin join us live. Justin, good morning.
Good morning, people.
Yeah, he's giving out a fair warning. I want to put him on blast, but I would just move on and say,
Judith, behave.
join the conversation. We are on WhatsApp at Smooth981. That's on YouTube, by the way, at Smooth981 on YouTube. We're streaming live on YouTube. Send us a WhatsApp message to 0809 444 0981. Again, 0809 444 0981. That's our WhatsApp number for you to join the conversation today. Let's get started, shall we? I'm going to start off with you, Wade, for this one. And this is coming from Wade. I'm starting with you, Wade, for this one. And this is a report that's coming from Vanguard newspaper. A report ranks Nigeria low in Human Rights Index. Despite our past efforts and experiences over the years to lead in the transformation of the West African subcontinent into a democratically governed community, Nigeria has not fared well in all human rights indicators. This was the position of three reports launched by Center for Democracy Development, CDD, on Monday in Abuja. The reports were meant to gauge the performance of Nigeria against some basic attributes of democracy and socio-economic transformation in the last 2 decades. Now, the three reports launched are reflections of CDD's past efforts and experiences in its attempt over the years to serve as the ultimate catalyst in the transformation of the West African sub-region into an integrated, economically vibrant and democratically governed community. Wade, please just give us insight on what these three reports are.
So this is good news over the last 20 years for Nigeria. The first report is actually looking at empirical data and human rights conditions in Nigeria, and some of the findings related to the prison system in Nigeria, where it was found that about 70% of prisoners are awaiting trial. 20% awaiting trial for more than 1 year. And this is technically what we see in Nigeria. People are arrested, some for wandering, some for things that should actually go to trial within a space of a week, but they're left in prisons, and sometimes they're left for years. And by the time they are finally released, they've lost sight of what society has to offer. The second report, looks at issues relating to. Just a second. The second report looks at issues relating to anti-corruption. Every day we hear in the news, even in our beer parlor talks, everybody's talking about corruption and anti-corruption. It x-rays the activities of the EFCC and the ICPC, though there's commendation for both agencies. We still believe that there's a lot that can be done towards achieving continued success. The third report examines the economic plans of various administrations in Nigeria, and they find that most of those plans have not been achieved. The targets that have been set have not been met over the last 20 years. So some of the things that they're asking that the government or those in leadership should do is to address the human rights violations within Nigeria, extrajudicial killings, indiscriminate arrest and awaiting trials of prisoners. Do more when it comes to the issue of anti-corruption, asking the National Assembly to pass an act that would deal directly and precisely with anti-corruption issues and a whole lot more.
Another act.
This is an indication that over the last 21 years of democracy, we still fall short of a number of things that relate to to human rights and justice. And we've seen, not only in past governments, the current government, with all the things that are going on, people being arrested without trial, people being tried on the pages of the newspaper and convicted on the pages of the newspaper without going through proper judicial process.
They also made. I just wanted to bring your attention to the paragraph before the second report. A paragraph there about the report also noting the media as well and how it's been attacked. Yeah.
Yes, the media. Sorry, I missed that. And we've seen that most, especially in the last 6 years, clamp down on media issues. The
Censorship.
temporary suspension of Twitter, which has how many months now? 4 or 5 months, where people who use those kind of medium for business have lost so much money. We've lost so much economic value as a whole in these desperate times of where Nigerian economy is continually sliding.
And even the government weaponizing censorship, harassment, and just so much. If you can go on
It's a long story.
It's a long story. So everyone go on to Vanguard to read that. I'm coming to Justin for you for this one. This is coming from the Punch newspaper. Electoral Act amendments. Buhari writes INEC seeks advice on direct primaries. Others. The President, Major General Muhammadu Buhari, retired, has written a letter to the chairman, Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, seeking comments from INEC over the Electoral Act Amendment Bill, which was passed by the National Assembly on November 9th, 2021. Buhari, who received the bill on November 19th, has until December 19th to sign it or communicate to the National Assembly his feelings and comments about the bill. Justin.
Yeah, this is it's a long-winded story, but it's basically describing what is a routine process. The president has written. He has 1 month from the date of receipt, which is November 19th, like you said, up until December 19th to respond and either pass it into law or as the process goes. But here's the thing for me. I hope that writing the letter seeking input from the commissioner is a matter of routine due process. I hope that the bill itself, the draft, was thoroughly reviewed, and I hope that the president actually does have a position and we are not really 1 month to go down to the wire, and this is when people are asking each other, so what do people think about this thing? Should we not? Do we have direct primaries or do we not have direct primaries? Because the article goes on to talk about the controversy over direct primaries, and all of this just goes to tell you how much it indicates, if you're looking at it critically, how much sincerity do we have in the whole process. If you ask me, the electoral bill should have been signed a long time ago. We shouldn't be on the eve of an election year and be talking about an electoral bill, because passing a new bill means processes are changing. Processes are changing means the commission has to move chips around on the board. Those things take time. Nigeria is a large geographical space, right? And you know how people joke that pipe-borne water doesn't get to every house in Nigeria, but somehow NEPA bill and
finds its way
everywhere. It's the same way that INEC has to find its way to every nook and cranny of the country. It's a huge logistical exercise, and if you're cutting it down to the wire like this, somewhere in my distrustful mind, and I'm going to say with my full chest, there's a trust deficit here. My love relationship with authorities in our country leaves a lot. I feel like she cheats on me all the time, So I don't have plenty of trust. But the thing is, I hope that what needs to be done is being done, and we will not end up with moving the calendars around just when elections are ready, just because people want to do as they do, But it's a good thing that at least we're not getting an outright no, we're not signing for now.
Join the conversation and react to the stories that we're taking inside of Freshly Pressed 981. Send us your WhatsApp messages to 0809-444-0981. Again, 0809-444-0981. We are streaming live on YouTube, so go on to YouTube at Smooth 981 on YouTube. Again, at Smooth 981 on YouTube. Take this headline from this day, Wadi. I'm coming to you. It reads: roadworthiness certificate issuance will now be based on vehicle inspection. Lagos State government has said no vehicle would be issued roadworthiness certificates without physical inspection with effect from January 1st, 2022. The state's Commissioner for Transportation, Dr. Frederick Oladende, who revealed this at a stakeholders meeting with all transport operators in Lagos, said motorists would have to present their vehicles for physical inspection at any of the designated computerized vehicle inspection centers across the state, but they would be issued before they would be issued a roadworthiness certificate. And the question we're asking before we went on air was, where are the centers? Who are they?
Well, they said there are 26 centers, and plans are ongoing to set up centers in the 20 local governments and the 37 LCDs. But the first thing for me is this: when this law was enacted, I think it was under the Fashola regime. We had these centers. People had to go and queue for hours to test their cars. The law says any car that is 5 years, older than 5 years, after being from that particular date of purchase of the model of the car, must go do a roadworthiness test. The problem I always see in Nigeria is that the laws are there, actually implementing them and finding people culpable for it is where the issue is. Now, that's one. Secondly, when you look at the vehicle inspection services or the vehicle inspection officers on the road,
Vehicle infection service.
infection or inspection.
Checking. Oh, sorry,
inspection.
Okay.
Justice.
Yes, Judith.
So when you meet them on the way, nobody looks at the public transport.
Why they you speak English? There will be no downfall on the road in Lagos.
Because even
What's the plan?
when you consider the fact that those combi buses have been out of circulation for good,
The manufacturer even forgotten that they manufactured those
so
buses.
at the end of the day, those things are not worthy to be on any road. But they are the ones who cause the accidents, most of it, who drive like there's no tomorrow, and they are always in a hurry. So what exactly are we talking about? 26? Is it 26? Don't weigh in yet.
Justin, just hold on. Let us finish.
26 computerized stations. The downfall buses alone will break those equipments before they are done. And it's just something that I'm trying to imagine. The law clearly states that you can't issue a roadworthiness certificate until you test the car. So what's the commissioner talking about? 10 years later?
Somebody feels like confessing up to something.
That
we know they do the work before. But we have repented. It's a New Year resolution. It's a New Year resolution.
Okay, that's why it's January 2020.
Yes.
That's why it's January.
So we're going to be doing it now.
And with 26 centers.
With 26 centers, I don't know where they are.
You don't know where they are.
That's my fault for not knowing.
Yeah, so you have to find out.
I'm still wondering.
Do you see
the number of cars on Lagos roads?
Let's even leave the number of cars. The number of buses on Lagos Road will crash those computers.
All right, guys, we have to reel it in here. This is Tayo from Aja, and it goes, vehicle inspection for downfall in Lagos is something I want to see. It's like those guys have immunity. Let's move on, shall we? This time we're going to the hashtag NSARS panel report, and this comes from this day. I'm going to you, Justin, for this one. Lagos hashtag NSARS panel illegal. Can't probe police military, says Kiyamo. The Minister of State for Labor and Employment, Festus Kiyamo San, yesterday said the hashtag NSARS panel set up by the Lagos State government was illegal. Kiyamo, who appeared on Sunday Politics, a current affairs program on Channel Television monitored by This Day in Lagos, said it was out of the jurisdiction of the panel to investigate the activities of federal government institutions and officials such as the Nigerian Army and Nigerian Police Force.
You know how when growing up we all had heroes. You had those people you look up
you're
to.
doing this. Justin, don't do this.
You had
Do
those people
not
that
do
when
this.
you saw them, all the verve in your body just started pumping, you just wanted to go. This is what I want to do when I grow up. Every bone of activism in me, every bone of social reform in me always used to get driving when I saw certain people. But in recent times, but I'm talking about the massacre at the toll gate and the investigation that the president actually at some point said that panels should be set up across the country by the state governors. Or does memory serve me wrong?
Yes, it does.
Okay. So I do remember that, right? I feel like I'm being gaslighted here. But what else is new in Nigeria?
I remember when the Lagos report came out and we were saying, oh, the president hadn't said anything. He said he was waiting for the report for all the 36 states.
Yeah. He's waiting for the white paper.
So somebody needs to lose their job around the president for not telling him a year ago that, sir, excuse me, those panels you asked them to set up, it's actually illegal. And now that they finished the paneling and panel beating of the issues, because those issues were really panel beats, man. Things that I saw with my own eyes, things that we all saw, watch live, we were saying, no, we didn't see them. But anyway, focusing on the story, because this is a really touchy issue. Mr. Keyamo, SAN, says that in his opinion as an individual, not speaking as a minister of the Federal Republic, he was careful to make that distinction. In his opinion as an individual, that and as a lawyer, that the panels were illegal, and therefore, without saying as much, the reports should be discountenanced. But the thing for me is this. We can argue about technicalities all day. We can argue about the legality as per the Constitution or as per the Lagos State Public Inquiries Act, which he referenced in his comments, not giving cover or not providing a place to stand, a local standee, like the lawyers would say, for that panel to do the job that it was asked to do. But the fact remains, Mr. Keyamo, that the things that happened that day at that toll gate will go down in infamy in this country. The deniers can deny it all they want. The confusers can confuse issues all they want. It can technically be checked out to be illegal. You might be correct, Mr. Keyamo. But the things that happened, the lives that were lost, their families, their friends, the society, the people who yearn for change in this country will not forget. We don't care whether it was legal or illegal for the panel to have been set up. The issues that the panel discussed, the findings that the panels discussed,
the testimonies of the people who
were as real
presented
as your name in all your capacities, whether as a minister or whether as a private individual or as a senior advocate of the country. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. We move on to Guardian newspaper here, and this is I'm coming to you, Wadi, for this one. Customs intercepts 71 million naira meant for laundering in Katsina State. The Nigeria Customs Service (NCS) in Katsina State says it has intercepted a vehicle loaded with more than 71 million naira, suspected to be for laundering. Acting controller at the command, Alhaji Dalhat Wada Chidi, told newsmen in Katsina on Monday that the money was intercepted earlier in the month. And he said, we intercepted the money with the vehicle and also arrested the driver of the vehicle around Katsina Jibia axis, which is among the frontline areas affected by insecurity. That statement alone makes me probe where this money was found. Wadi.
Well, it was found at the border.
So,
and the borders have been closed. And they remain closed. Anyway, first, at least one of the good things about this is that they're actually reporting that they intercepted 71 million. And if you go through the story, there are so many other interceptions. There's another 14.4 million or so. And it's on the basis that you should declare anything that is $10,000 and above if you are crossing the border. So my question will be, how are people crossing the border that has been shut down? But good things that the custom services are doing their work as it should be. They also intercepted what's it called, India hemp, what about about 18.1 million, along with the truck, which was worth about 25.9 million. In all, I would say kudos to the custom service in Kaduna State. Good job for all the work that has been done here. And I don't want to dwell too much. But the last thing I want to say is they have transferred the case to the headquarters, which is in Abuja. So my question is, as you transferred the case, I hope you transferred all the exhibits along with it. And tomorrow, well, the first thing he said is that they've deposited all the monies in CBN, which is also something I want to commend. I want to commend the customs, which is the bank that banks the economy of Nigeria and the cash that belongs to Nigeria. So kudos to the customs for what they've done in Katsina State. We hope they will do more, and they will ensure that our closed borders, which are closed, are being monitored more
And people are
effectively and
declaring what they need
efficiently.
to declare when they are passing through the closed borders. It's important.
What do you say?
They
And
need
that
to
people are
declare.
declaring what needs declaring
Yeah,
when they are passing
passing
through the
through
closed
closed
borders. Very key.
We have messages here. This is Andrew in Yaba. Good morning, team. Please, would the trucks also be in this exercise? Because in recent times, Lagos has enough accidents from the trucks. Lots of them not road worthy. This is Ayodele, and he goes, "Hello, Judith. This is Ayodele writing from Lagos. I think the studio analyst was overly critical concerning the vehicle assessment process the commission has proposed. It is a way to do better, and this, I think, has been the reflection of current city of officials. The way they all are about strategic execution. It is obvious from where I see from that soon there shall be residents in the news complaining about fines they have been receiving since they could not comply. Ayodele, I think you need to take a trip down to Apapa and then see the amount of tankers that just fall by the side of the roads, and sometimes the media don't even cover them because we're tired of
Chidi,
it.
I don't think we're being overly critical. The law clearly states, and that's what we said. The first thing is that there was an act that was signed by the governor that went through the National Assembly. It wasn't an executive order. And the law clearly states it. So if after 10 years, we don't have this, we had some at the beginning, and we only have 26 10 years later.
The infrastructure is not there. Let me now be critical. This is an extortion exercise disguised as something else. I
don't want to go that route.
Put the infrastructure
I don't want
place,
to go the
and then
route
let's talk.
of Justin.
Guys, let's read it back
But
in.
Ayodele should remember that there were computerized centers 10 years ago, and if 10 years after we only have 26, and we're still going to start.
Let's take a media trip to the facilities. Come on, let's go.
Let's call a spade a spade.
Let's go see.
Bosu from Surulere, and they don't think these monies are being used to fund Boko Haram. We'll leave that rhetoric question here. This is Gilbert Musa. Good morning to Judith and the guest. Kiamu's statement for me goes to show that people change. Indeed, people forget that other people look up to them for inspiration. Kiamu is a human rights activist traditionally. He is indeed contradicting his traditional position. This is Cisco Delgado. Goes, Festus Kiamu is a double-edged sword. And that's from Cisco Delgado there. Voke from Aja. Good morning, guys. If we talk about supremacy of the law, then Festus Kiamu is right. This is Alex. Supremacy of the law, then Kiamu is right. This is Alex from Victoria Island. The FRSC and VIO on the roads for private vehicles owners that can pay the fines are on the roads for private vehicle owners that can pay the fines. Commercial buses that caused most of the accidents on the road because of their poor conditions are not. Why are these agencies on the roads? It's a shame. So what he's saying is commercial buses are not fined, while private vehicle owners are fined. There's something not adding up, and it's a big shame. Let's move on to Kaduna State. This is coming from Punch newspaper. Kaduna begins transition to 4-day working week, December 1st, that's tomorrow. The Kaduna State government on Monday announced that it will commence the transition to a 4-day working week from December 1st, 2021. The move, which will permit public servants to work from home for 1 day per week, is a measure designed to help boost productivity, improve work-life balance, and enable workers to have more time for their families, for rest, and from agriculture. Justin.
Fantastic news coming out of Kaduna State. In contrast to some other not so palatable things, this is a good move. I know from what I read, not from personal experience, that they have actually made some significant moves in digitizing the workspace for their civil servants, and I think this is one way that they probably plan to get them to actually utilize those things. Leaves a lot of question marks, but on the whole, asking people to work from home on Fridays, not to work on Fridays, there's a different thing. But I wonder how the governor is going, how the administration is going to manage that, because it's one thing to we have a wonderful civil service in the country, right? There are a lot of people that should be retired that are still working, and the transition to using digital tools is going to be a very long process, but it's a great experiment they're doing. I'm here for it. Let's see how it plays out. I just hope people actually, I mean, civil servants know they work when they're in the office, now when they're in the house, but let's keep it moving. It's a good move, well intentioned. I hope execution matches up to the spirit behind it.
Maybe we'll get a lot more vibrant people to start to get back into the civil service and make the change that I think the civil service does deserve.
Okay. This is from Vanguard newspaper. Southeast traders reject new increment in customs import duty. Wade, this is for you. The Southeast Amalgamated Marketers Traders Association, CMATA, has criticized and rejected the recent astronomical and indiscriminate increment in the import duty on cargoes charged by Nigerian customs. Wade.
I think it was about a month ago. I was having a conversation with my brother, and he said something about this, where, for instance, because a lot of the importers have what's it called, wholesaler ship deals with a lot of the producers for the goods that they bring in. So what you expect is the prices that they buy these things at is lower generally than what you sell in the market. But what you see today from what they are claiming, and which for me goes to seem to make that discussion true, is you have an invoice, which is what the basis of your custom duty is supposed to be. And because I'm a wholesaler and I'm dealing with Justin, who is giving me goods from what they will give me what technically will be a factory price plus X. Now you come and you believe that invoice is wrong, and you bill me based on what is being sold in the market in those countries. It's wrong for me. But like continually said, the government is broke. They're looking for all avenues to raise money, and this is what I see. So if bills of 750,000 you're now paying for 2 million and 3 million, of course, who's going to suffer it? The consumer. And that's what we're seeing in the market, and it's not helping. Government should devise a better way to get people to bring in goods more. Foreign exchange, the exchange rate is continually killing businesses in Nigeria. And when you after paying so much to get the exchange rate, you come back here and then you're paying like 3-4 times also in terms of duties than what you should pay, then it's just sad.
All right, last story here. We have just a minute. I'm coming to you, Justin, for this one. 400 billion naira needed to fix all federal roads, says local lawmaker, and this is from this day. The chairman Senate Committee on Federal Emergency Roads Maintenance Agency, FERMA, Senator Gershom Bassi, has disclosed that it would require about 400 billion naira to repair and maintain all federal roads in the country.
Yeah, he did go on to say that only 17% of that amount has been released to FERMA previously. Federal infrastructure is in a bad, deplorable state of decay, especially roads. And in the past, we've seen several ways that administrations have devised of keeping those facilities up and running. And you just wonder why. So, for instance, tolling is ideally, tolling is a good way of raising revenue to fix roads. right? By tolling the people plying those roads. We had federal toll gates. They were scrapped because the money couldn't be accounted for. I know that there's been talk in the past of putting them back. Frankly, if not that we move the way we move, I don't have a problem with tolling a federal road, right? I wouldn't mind. And given the volume of traffic, so if you look at the Lagos Benin, Lagos Shagamu Benin, Agbo Asaba route, there's absolutely nothing wrong with having tolls on those roads, as long as the funds would be used to keep the
For the
roads
maintenance.
For the
road
maintenance.
worthy. Because let me take a side crack at the Lagos State thing. So you want the cars to be roadworthy, but are the roads
Roads worthy of the cars.
you know? So anyway, my time is up, but Mr. Fema, we know election year is coming. Calm down. The money is not coming now. There's no money.
The money will
We'll be
come.
managing the road since wait till after elections.
The
Oh
money
my
will come in
God.
2022. And we'll fix
Yeah,
some of those
2023.
roads.
Guys, thank you so much for coming in. Justin and Wadi, thank you so much. This last message here is from Mary from Okwebi Link Road. And she goes, "Good morning, Smooth 98.1. It is very painful to know that every human being has a price tag and has become heroes past while still alive. Some have become heroes past while still alive. Also, the roadworthiness test is a step in the right direction. Maybe Lagos State will rest from these yellow buses. Sorry to announce that it is, however, more funds in the pockets of the officers in these testing centers. It is almost dead on arrival, given the low number of test centers Lagos State has." Guys, thank you. And thank you to everyone who sent their messages. Coming up at 8:10 a.m. is going to be time for Lagos Talks 981. That's where we open up our telephone line for you to react to the stories inside that hour. I'll also take all your WhatsApp messages then. This has been Freshly Pressed 981. It's Smooth Breakfast. My name is Judith at TV. Good morning.
The headlines, the stories, the news, in-depth analysis of national current affairs. Freshly pressed on Smooth 98.1.
That doesn't need roadworthiness. In 2 years, I have to go and do MOT test.
See, I've been saying this thing. The way APC people, they are like targeting this show, it's not even funny anymore. Like, you just give one criticism about policies.
Yeah. No, Lagos State is on point.
You. Like, it's like
They're on point with
your
that.
minions are like so on point. I absolutely love it. At the same time, it's like, if you are so precise as to do this, why
Do the
can't you
work.
just do your job?
Does it work?
I mean,
Their PR machine is very effective.
I
Lagos
want to
State.
know who's in charge, just so that I can have a conversation with them.